Hi! This will be my first video, which is an Apollo lookalike completely stock KSP rocket. So this is the rocket. CSM here is a lamp, this housing, and yeah, these are the Saturn V rocket parts. Well, at least they somewhat look like that. So let's launch it. To be honest, this will take around 1 hour, completely unedited, because I cannot edit videos now. But let's try. Anyway, SAS on, thrust to full. Set this. Okay, everything is right. Start. Yeah, so it doesn't have 5 engines as the S1C has in the real Apollo Saturn V rocket. This middle section doesn't have 5 engines as the S2 has in the real Saturn V, just one, but this way it looks very similar to the Saturn V. So we are going up. Let's see. Yeah, the last section is somewhat similar. Yeah, let's see how it works out. Yeah, of course I know it will work out, I tested this. But yeah. Have to start pitch over because this one is kind of wobbly. Normally I don't use this long rocket, but I want it to be somewhat like a real Saturn V, so that's why it's like this. Okay, we detached the emergency launch escape system. That of course works with the abort button. Already did that. So that's okay. And like the real Saturn V, it doesn't have enough delta V to escape to orbit just with the first 2 stages. You need all 3. So it needs a second burn of the 3rd stage, the S4B equivalent. Yeah, going nicely. Just a little bit over. Okay, that's enough for now. Yeah. Normally, the Apollo mission started full burn until all the fuel is burned. But yeah, I didn't make it perfectly this time. Just a little bit more. Okay. So first burn of the S4B equivalent. Yeah, I will go to orbit anyway. A little bit asymmetric. Yeah, that's okay. Very circular. Select our target. Yeah, and somewhere here. Well, let's see. Normally, Apollo missions are on a free return trajectory, at least the first few were. But now I was in a hurry, so I came up with this one. Let's see how it works out. Yeah, otherwise I would needed a complete orbit to get back to this point. So how it worked for the Apollo, they remained in a very low orbit, around 120 kilometers, and there is atmospheric drag. But how the thing worked, so this S4B couldn't be stopped completely, so it didn't burn, but it was venting some hydrogen, and that was enough to keep it in orbit, especially because they were just parking there for a few orbits and then did this transfer injection, what I did just now. 0.1, a very small inclination change. So normally Apollo missions would do this transposition, docking and extraction maneuver now, but I want to make sure that this stage falls to the moon, because I don't want to leave it as debris around. So I will do this minor inclination change here, which is so I'm down, so I need to go up, which is north. North should be this way. There is actually enough fuel and delta V in the CSM to do this, but I just make sure that it this stuff lands on the moon and gets destroyed. I will go to this sphere of influence of the moon with this complex. And we'll detach it there. So yeah, this I will get equatorial orbit. I hope so. Yeah, it will hit the moon the way it is now, but I'm aiming directly for it because of this floating point inaccuracies what are in the program. You cannot be sure that the orbit will be the same when you change the sphere of influence. So you can see that there are some solar panels on it. The Apollo didn't have those, it used fuel cells, but anyway, I don't have fuel cells in KSP, so I had to make do with what I have, so this is what I had. So here we are. Yeah, it's almost perfect. What I want to do, just orient myself to see what I'm doing. Yeah, so I'm pointing towards the moon. can see that there is a lot of fuel left in this stage. Other direction. Somehow like this. Okay, so now it's time to do transposition, docking and extraction maneuver. So wait until it settles. What I want to do is release this docking node which is inside here, but it's not visible. But I have a keyboard shortcut for that. Just wait a little. Actually, if this command module were a little bit shorter, which the original designs were for me, I could do this without RCS, but yeah, that was it. That's enough. Actually, I have some lights on it. The other one also. What I'm doing? Yeah. So, yeah. So I have these lights to make docking easier, especially on lunar orbit. So what I want to do is to get rid of this useless decoupler, which was there for technical reasons. So hopefully with this I will shoot it in the right direction. Yeah, it's okay to hit the moon. Now can make this orbital maneuver to get around an orbit. Usually for the moon I go with 20 kilometers. That's okay. Still have a lot of fuel, but Apollo will ditch this. So this is what I will also do. So let's wait until it settles. Okay. So actually I use a decoupler there to do the extraction maneuver. Normally that would happen with the RCS. So I want to make this crash into the surface. This is what they did in some of the missions. In others they were slingshot around moon or moon. Yeah, don't confuse those two. Around the moon and went into a solar orbit. So this is my lander. It has some solar panels. The original didn't have those. It had batteries only. So the real lamp had batteries only. Fuel cells in the CSM. I have solar panels for both of them. And yeah, I wanted to make it look like the real one. So it has two windows, the real one, place for two people. And I had to make it like this. And yeah, I have this goldish looking stuff. These storage tanks, so that looks more closely like the real one. So that's okay. Every debris hitting the surface, I can just face the way I want to. And time warp. That's more than enough. I will try to get into a nice little orbit. You have to brake around 250 meters per second here. 200, yeah. Let's see what will happen. Well, that's okay. So if I hurry, I can catch my target, which is here. In these two small craters, the Armstrong Memorial. So let's have some light. Well, it doesn't have much, but I can move the people to the ladder. Of course, Jebediah to the left one. That's Big Bill. That's for the other one. Yeah, one person is remaining, just like in Apollo. So lights out. This is my little event. So, yes, on. Oh, a lot of time left. Let's see. It's a little bit early, but doesn't matter. Lower. Don't want to waste fuel on descending, and I know that I always waste fuel while I'm descending. Not that much, and this lamb look-alike actually has quite a lot of delta V, much more than the original had, because we know that the original lambs had only a few seconds of fuel left when they touched the ground. Every one of them. It was like so. Okay. This is okay. Yeah, I hope I won't hit the CSM. Once it happened to me with an unfortunate Eve lander of the first designs I had. Since then it saw a lot of iterations. Didn't get much nicer, but lighter. Okay. It's okay. It should be around. I didn't start the engine. Yep. Can't get too low because then I will hit the crater or some mountains. Okay, 5 kilometers is okay. Yeah, there goes the CSM. Here we go. So the way I did this, 2 small lander cans causes these strange artifacts in the rendering of Jeb and Bill. But it's much lighter than the MK2 lander can and looks more like the original Apollo. So let's time accelerate. 20-minute mark at 21 minutes. I want to make this fast because with the landing and whatnot, it's very takes a lot of time. So let's try to change a little bit the inclination to be precise orbit. Yeah, I think it's around time. So if I say we are looking just perpendicular to the surface and do it a little bit more. Let's say it like this. Just okay. So this should take us to the Armstrong Memorial, which is in this crater, south range, almost at the equator, between these 2 small craters. So let's go. Deploy the landing legs. Now it looks more like the real lamp. What am I doing? So just warp a little bit more. Around here, let's start some serious braking. Don't have to worry actually, because this is plenty of delta V. My original design's a little bit less, more closer to the real lamp, but yeah, this is what I have to make do with. I don't want to overshoot it too much. Yeah, it's there. I'm going to overshoot it, but I think I can correct it. Yeah, somehow. Certainly, if it were real, I would have run out of the fuel now, but yeah, 500. $300. Let's keep this. So this was it, really an Armstrong-like landing, very soft. So get our jab. Don't have a letter as in the original, but just let go. And plant a flag, so I'm Neil Armstrong with jab. So let's plant it somewhere here. And get out wheel, just for the sake of the nice shot that we have here. And the flag is in the wrong position, but anyway, you can see the lander, the two guys, and the memorial. That's the flag. I'm just going to go there. Not like this. Yeah, but at least I get to see the other side. So I'm in the exact position, and jab is at 042.9 north, 2244.48 east. So let's go back. Let's try a jump. Yeah, it is successful. Now this one, yeah. Wow. This wasn't so successful. Don't topple over the lander. Bill, what are you doing? Okay, let's try with the old-fashioned way. Funny. Anyway. Okay. We have a little bit of fuel left, and we have a probe on this one in the middle, but we can use to exert this up and crash this spectral surface. The original didn't do that, but anyway, so I don't like to leave junk around. We have to wait a little bit until this comes around, and I want to do it, if possible, Apollo-like, that the lamp is coming from the surface towards the CSM. So they did the rendezvous, the lunar orbit rendezvous, in 3 steps. The ascent stage went up. Of course, it pitched over very fast. Then, after a while, it circularized with a constant altitude difference from the CSM. And then it did a third maneuver that made it to the same altitude as the CSM at the right time. So then it just needs to kill the remaining speed, and up we go. So I think we can start here. So in atmosphereless planets, it's the best to pitch over instantly. This is what the real Lambda did after a few seconds. So let's set this as target, but I don't want to see it because it just confuses me in this stage. Stay below. This is why I waited until it passed over me, so that I can have this kind of orbit. Okay, let's leave it at that. Plenty of fuel left. Yeah, this is... So this is an amazing view. Just what were the feelings of the Apollo astronauts when they just flew over the lunar surface? Even in this simple program, it's so wonderful. The real deal must have been much more wonderful. I want to do an inclination correction also. Normally it's the best to do it in the same time, but I think my timing is not right for that. First, let's circularize. Yeah. So yeah, the original ascent stage didn't have any throttle. The descent stage had. It was a technological marvel at that time. It could have as little as 10% throttle and still operating. Anyway, I have this. Yeah, my orbit is generally lower than the CSM, so I will catch up with it. The question is just when. I hope after this inclination change. Yeah, so I can wait until the inclination change. Okay, let's do the inclination change. I have to do it towards the north, which is, yeah, this one. 0.6 degrees. Yeah, that's okay. So I should see the CSM there. Is there? So let's try to configure a rendezvous point. So, what am I doing? Maybe I'm too late. Here, this is intersect 1. It's target position, so I need to wait a little bit more. And it's there. 2.8, 0.6, 0.2. Okay, let's give it that one. 0.2 going up, and this will mean that I'm going from the surface. I will still have some light there, I hope so, because most of my dockings are either with opposition with the sun or in the dark side, so that I cannot see anything. Okay, let's go. Plenty of fuel. More than enough. So it's 5.2 meter per second. It's very little. Let's see what I got. 0.2, exactly as planned. So have to do anything else just to go there. The original had a powerful beacon on it, which is flashing. In some of the videos which are on YouTube, you can see that it's flashing. It was designed so that in case there is a malfunction and it cannot do the rendezvous, then the command module can spot it. And actually, most of the requirements of the rendezvous time were based on the lighting conditions, so that it's not in a position, or it will not be in a position that it's very near to the sun, so that the the CSM pilot, or the commander, will not blind himself. Now, let's go even closer. Okay, switch to target, it's not that much. A little bit braking is needed here, some steering, so let's brake and push this marker to the right position. Yeah, so now we are going towards the CSM. From the CSM you can see that there it is, just the way as Apollo did it, exactly the same way. So now I'm facing towards it. It's coming in very fast. The point of docking is just have all these three markers in the same spot and have the other module facing towards us. It's a little bit fast, but I don't have that much time. I'm already past 41 minutes. So if you have all these three markers together, then you should be successful, provided the other module is facing in the right direction. Yeah, I can see it. It's 3 meters per second. Turn on the lights. It doesn't have much, but anyway, you can see it exactly like an Apollo video. Exactly, very nice. Still heading towards it. Yeah. Brake a little bit more. A little bit more. Time for SCS to take over. So I rotate it. Here it comes. It's perfect. Where is it? Anyway. A bit fast. But you don't want to make it too slow, because then this speed indicator will, or velocity vector indicator will become very unsteady and hard to steer. I think it's going to be okay. I can't select it anymore, doesn't matter. It's coming together nicely. It's very cool. Okay. We are back together. So transfer the crew. It's God blessing this transfer stuff. We don't have to EVA. And let's have this crash into the surface. I think this is what they did in most of the missions. Everybody here? Everybody here? Yeah, everybody here. So let's decouple this as I did before. So maximum thrust. And switch back. Okay. This is going to crash. Yeah. And the other one is remaining here. Armstrong Memorial is between these two craters. The remaining fuel what I had in hint, I can use it to just lift off a little bit and crash into the surface, but I will not show it because it's not interesting. Of course you can abandon it anyway, but I don't like that. I think it's cheating. So I'm on the wrong side, so around here, around 45 degrees, a little bit less, 270 should be enough to take us down to Kerwin. Yeah, 55. I usually choose 30. I don't know why, but this is what I do most of the time. That's not too steep. Even with more realistic atmospheric effects, they should survive that, I think. Anyway. It's too much. Don't need to be that precise. So let's set our target. It's there. And the time accelerate. And it crashed. Okay. Go around. Can't go faster. This was the reason for my orbit. It's about 12 kilometers, so that time warp works quite nicely. Yeah, I landed around at twilight, so it dusk conditions, but the real Apollo missions were done at dawn, local dawn. The lighting conditions were much similar, I think, but this is how close I could come. 54, no, I think it's like 10. Ah, a lot of fuel. I could use this to circularize with an arrow braking maneuver and go exactly to the space center, but Apollo did not do that, so I will not do that also. T-10. Yeah. A bit more, a little bit more. Yeah, that's nice. So let's accelerate. Ah, lights are still on. I don't need that. Let's see. I hope it will be an ocean. No, it will be continent. Doesn't matter. By the way, you can see these small engines. This is what the original Apollo didn't have. It's like you can use the remaining monopropellant for some emergency delta V or some other additional maneuvers or whatever. So it's more similar to the Soyuz soft landing jets, which cut in just before touching the ground. Oh yeah, we have to lose this if we want to be Apollo-like. Let's go a little bit lower. Yeah, I want to lose this. So yeah, the original Apollo capsule didn't have anything left. Just small maneuvering thrusters for the steering, for the re-entry. Because how it works, it's a blunt body. It's a blunt lifting body. It's not completely symmetrical in the way of center of mass and geometric center. I think I could just turn off SAS because it looks nicer. So it's not completely symmetrical, and because of that it will glide like this, and it functions as a small wing surface, and with that it's possible to steer. And if you rotate this is what it could do, just rotate, then it's possible to steer left to right or up or down, mostly up or down. So the point was to have a correct re-entry profile, EVA. It looks nice. It's not that much better. So anyway, with that steering, you can steer yourself in the atmosphere, and I hope my junk will hit the ground. Yeah. What do you know? I see some water there, but maybe it will be ground. Just above ground, almost ocean. I can open the parachutes, and those are hidden behind this docking port. I don't know why the game lets you do that, but you can do that apparently. So time accelerate, and we are almost at the surface. Yeah. Deployed. This is much more Soyuz like. I could use these jets to cushion, but I don't need it actually. Yeah. So everybody survived. That was it. Recover vessel. And now I'm past the 50 minutes mark. So just wrap it up shortly. A few words about this vessel. So actually it doesn't need these standing stabilizers, launch stability augmenters, or what they're called. But it looks more like Apollo, and there are some things hidden here. There are the tanks and the lights. You can see that mostly empty. But, I had these because they are more. It looks more like the Apollo this way. But the long service module. Actually, if it were much smaller here, then it would be possible to do the transposition, docking and extraction without RCS, because it's just enough to rotate. And the center of mass stays here, but the nose is longer comparatively. So the magnetic field will just pull you in. And I need to squeeze the LM here. That's why I use these plates, metal plates, because there's just barely enough place to fit it inside. There are some lights also for artistic reasons. So at 55 minutes, let's wrap this up. Thanks for watching, and